If looking away wasn't enough, US to finance Pak's Baloch exploitation, massive investment for copper and gold, understanding Reko Diq and Pak-US deal. Why is US investing $1.2 billion in Balochistan?
Well, the United States has committed $1.25 billion to Pakistan. Only this time it's not as a loan, but as a part of an investment. Hello and welcome to this episode of Explained by NewsX. My name is Vineet Malhotra. Well, the race to secure critical minerals is intensifying, and the US is taking a gamble to maintain its lead in this competitive field. What is the deal all about is the question. Where is it located? Well, we'll give you all those details, but first, let's tell you about when it all began. On your screens is a photograph that was taken on 25th September 2025 at the White House. Pakistan's de facto leader, Asim Munir, is seen presenting a wooden box of rare earth minerals, making his pitch to US President Donald Trump, who appears to be listening intently. What followed were pictures with the big smiles and a handshake that sent a signal. Something was in the making, something was cooking. On 2nd October, Pakistan and United States entered a new phase in their economic and strategic partnership as both sides advanced towards implementing an agreement for the export of rare earth minerals. Pakistan delivered its first ever shipment of rare earth and critical minerals to the United States. As per reports, the sample shipment that was sent to the United States included antimony, copper concrete, and rare earth elements such as neodymium and praseodymium. But what is the source of these minerals is the big question. Well, the answer is Reko Diq. It is located in the remote Chagai district of Balochistan province. It lies in the arid Chagai hills near the town of Reko Diq, approximately 70 kilometers southeast of Kakundi, close to Pakistan's border with Iran and Afghanistan. The site is a part of the Tithian metallogenic belt, a mineral-rich volcanic region with rugged desert terrain, sand dunes, rocky outcrops and sparse vegetation. One of the largest undeveloped copper-gold projects in the world, Reko Diq is owned 50% by the Canadian mining giant Barrick, 25% by 3 federal state-owned enterprises, 25% by the government of Balochistan, of which 15% is on a fully funded basis and 10% is on a free carried basis. Based on reports, Barrick is expected to start production by the end of 2028. But why is it such in high demand? Why are companies and countries pumping big money to get access to this mine is the big question. Well, it is a super giant porphyry style deposit with proven and probable reserves of approximately 5.9 billion tons of ore containing around 12.4 million tons of copper at an average grade of 0.41 to 0.44%, along with 41.5 million ounces of gold. In fact, based on published reports, Reko Diq copper and gold project in Pakistan is expected to generate approximately $74 billion in free cash flows over the next 37 years based on consensus long-term pricing. Well, as things stand today, the United States has announced a significant investment, with the US Export-Import Bank approving a $1.25 billion in financing to support the development of the Reko Diq critical minerals project. Sharing a video on X, Charge d'Affaires and interim at the US Embassy in Islamabad, Natalie Baker said that the US administration has made such deals central to American diplomacy. Listen in.
Financing of $1.25 billion to support the mining of critical minerals at Reko Diq in Pakistan. In the coming years, EXIM's project financing will bring in up to $2 billion in high-quality U.S. mining equipment and services needed to build and operate the Reko Diq mine, along with creating an estimated 6,000 jobs in the U.S. and 7,500 jobs in Balochistan, Pakistan. The Reko Diq project serves as the model for mining projects that will benefit U.S. exporters as well as local Pakistani communities and partners by bringing employment and prosperity to both our nations. The Trump administration has made the forging of deals exactly like this one central to American diplomacy. We look forward to seeing further agreements between U.S. companies and their Pakistani counterparts in the critical minerals and
In the coming years, they are expected to facilitate up to $2 billion in high-quality U.S.-sourced mining equipment, drilling machinery and operational support to build and operate the mine. Why is the United States eager to begin operations is another question that is important. Well, there are a few important reasons for that. Let's get into those. Number one, reduction in dependency on China for critical minerals. China dominates global copper processing and supply chains. Reko Diq provides a major alternative source of copper, which is one of the most important critical minerals for clean energy, defense, and of course technology. Reason number two, securing long-term reliance copper supply for essential industries. Copper is essential for electric vehicles, renewable energy infrastructure, power grids, semiconductors and military equipment. Reko Diq's annual projected output stands between 200,000 to 500,000 tons. Reason number three, its proximity to Iran and Afghanistan. Reko Diq lies in the region close to Iran and Afghanistan's border. This allows indirect monitoring of the activities happening in both the nations. While Pakistan is giving exactly what the United States has been asking, it's doing so at the expense of Balochistan's natural resources. Remember that. The Republic of Balochistan has addressed a letter to President and Chairman of the Export-Import Bank of the United States, John Janovich, urging him to halt funding for Pakistan's actions in Balochistan, which it describes as genocide. The letter highlights the exploitation of Balochistan's resources, including the Sui, the Dera Bukti, the Loti and Pirko gas fields, which produce 334 million cubic feet of gas per day, while locals lack basic services. It also mentions the significant revenue generated from over 2,000 coal fields in Mak, Harnai, the Chamalang and Duki, which has not improved the living conditions of the local population there. Furthermore, the letter criticizes the operation of the Sendak and Reko Diq gold and copper projects, which have benefited outsiders rather than the Balochi people, who face restrictions on accessing their own land and resources and minerals. The presence of Pakistan's military in Balochistan is described as a severe example of repression, displacement, and anti-Baloch campaigns that exacerbate grievances. Reactions among Balochis are largely negative, of course. Here is one. The Baloch National Movement spokesperson has issued a press release. They have made it clear that any form of financial assistance or economic partnership with Pakistan directly results in further genocide of the Baloch nation, enforced disappearances, and the systemic plunder of their natural resources. The spokesman has put out alarming realities and chilling potential future of Balochistan. He said that America's financial support will ultimately contribute to the construction of more military camps and checkpoints in Balochistan, the expansion of surveillance infrastructure, the exploitation of natural gas, and efforts to crush Baloch resistance. These sentiments reflect the frustration of the Baloch people, who feel compelled to stand by as critical minerals are extracted from their land without generating any benefits for them. But will the United States take note of this harsh and dark reality in Balochistan? Could they perhaps change their mind? The probability of that happening is unfortunately very slim.
If looking away wasn't enough, US to finance Pak's Baloch exploitation, massive investment for copper and gold, understanding Reko Diq and Pak-US deal. Why is US investing $1.2 billion in Balochistan?